connected to this time we're in, please just private message me. You probably can be a lot more eloquent than me. And there's such amazing women in this group that we would love to hear. We would love to hear from you. So I'm going to introduce Shandy Krause. I hate seeing myself on camera. Okay. Shandy Krause is the core director of community development. She is a seasoned event planner, community developer, and a motivational speaker. Shandy is also a recovery and mental wellness consultant and has been working with women and teens in her New York community and beyond for over 18 years. In addition, she is certified as an iHeart facilitator and has been educating Jewish youth, their parents, and educators about their innate mental well-being and natural resilience. She believes that everyone deserves to have access to this life-transforming information, and she strives to bring this vision into reality. Born to a Hasidic family in Brooklyn, New York, Shandy is a mother and grandmother to a large and lively bunch. Baruch Hashem. She has devoted much of the last 3 decades to investing in her family as a stay-at-home mother, while working on collecting a variety of training and experiences along the way. Now that her family is mostly grown, she's excited to invest her time, energy, and experience into strengthening Jewish communities around the world. So we feel extremely grateful and humbled to have Shandy with us. Thank you so much, Shandy. I'm going to take my video off and put myself on mute. Are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are. What an honor it is to be here amongst the women of Klal Yisrael at the forefront of bringing Mashiach into reality. I entitled my topic, The Implication of Innate Resilience. And I'd like to start us off with a little story that I'll read to you, very short. And through this, I'd like to discuss with you all what it means to have innate resilience. What does it mean that we are resilient? Where does resilience come from? Okay, so here we are with a classroom, and the teacher is teaching her students, and this is how it goes. The teacher was teaching her class about bullying and had them do the following exercise. She had the children take a piece of paper and told them to scrunch it up, stomp on it, and really make a mess of it, but be careful not to tear it. Then she had them unfold the paper, smooth it out, and told them to say they were sorry. She pointed out that even though they were sorry and tried to fix the paper, those scars would never go away, no matter how hard they tried to repair it. That is what happens when a child bullies another child. They may say they're sorry, but the scars are there forever. The looks on the faces of the children in the classroom told her that her message hit home. I thought that was a very powerful way of describing what actually takes place when someone is bullied. Then I learned something different. I'm going to reread it this time. If you pay careful attention, you'll see something very, very different. A teacher was teaching her class about bullying and had them do the following exercise. She had the children take a piece of paper and told them to scrunch it up, stomp on it, and really make a mess of it, but be careful not to tear it. Then she had them unfold the paper, smooth it out, and told them to say they were sorry. She pointed out that even though they were sorry and tried to fix the paper, those scars would never go away, no matter how hard they tried to repair it. Then she said, fortunately, you are not a piece of paper. You're a human being. What a beautiful, magnificent spirit you have. Who you really are is pure, conscious awareness, and nothing anyone says or does can hurt or damage who you really are. You are far more powerful and resilient than you may have realized until now. Your spirit cannot be crumpled, scarred, or messed up. Who you really are cannot be a victim in any way. Bullies are suffering and filled with insecurity in the moment. Who they really are can't be damaged either. But sometimes they don't know that and start acting in a detrimental way. You can forgive them and feel compassion for them, but you don't have to accept any of their unhelpful actions. And the children laughed and smiled happy. Their teacher didn't try to make them think that they were fragile and weak like pieces of paper. Happy that she was kind, wise, and honest. The end. What is resilience? when you imagine a toddler learning how to walk, and he looks at all these people around him, his parents, his siblings, grandparents, and he says, everyone's walking around on those two legs. Let's see if I can give it a shot. He says, okay, today. It takes one step and falls down. He says, this is harder than I thought. Okay, I'll give it another shot. And takes another step and falls down and says, I'm not so sure I'm cut out for this. Maybe I'll give it one more shot, and if not, then it's not for me. Takes one more step and falls down and walks away and gives up, and that's the end of that. Absolutely not. That's not how Hashem created us. Hashem created us with a natural ability to bounce back when we fall down, when we're pushed down, when we are down. The ability to bounce back is what resilience really is. And it's something Hashem gave us. It's a part of us, it's who we are. There's a few things that we seem to think of as feelings, as things that we need to acquire, things that are outside of us. When in reality, in Hashem's reality, He created those things within us. It's a natural part of who we are. Like I said, one of those things is resilience. There's a few other things on that list that I consider qualities that are innate. In fact, I remember learning one of the books that Rabbi Dr. Abraham J. Twersky, Alav Shalom, wrote. And he says, people are constantly asking Hashem for courage and serenity and wisdom and many other things. And he says, well, how do you know you didn't already get it? Just open your front door, the package is there, it's waiting for you. And that touched me in a very deep way. It made me realize that, yes, we turn to Hashem in prayer. We are prayer. David HaMelech says, I am prayer. What does that mean? What does it mean that I am wise, that I'm resilient, that I have peace of mind and wellness inside of me at all times? Let's think about a Shabbos clock. That's a Shabbos lamp, and imagine it being plugged in and turned on, and yet the room is dark. So those of us that are familiar with that, there's at the top of the lamp, there's something you turn that darkens the room. What is that? That blocks the light that's constantly shining. I like that analogy, thinking about who I really am. My neshama is lit. It's a chelek elokami mal mamish. It's a part of Hashem that's inside of me, that's always there. And that tells me that just like Hashem is and always will be, and all the qualities that we know of Hashem are inside of me. They're there. They're a part of who I am. Naomi introduced us today with a little bit of what's going on in the world around us, and the crushing and the need for increased Ahavas Yisrael to counteract it, and how special we are that we get to see that. And Hashem trusts us. He gives us the ability, and throughout all the generations, to see that whether or not we understand and see the good in things, all is good. And everything that is occurring is there to show us that we have the ability to bounce back and come back strong. We have that built in. It's a part of who we are. It's fascinating. A different quality that's also innate would be wisdom. And I used to think that wisdom means someone that's wise with age, with intellectual knowledge, book smart, the ability to know and acquire a lot of information. But the Torah teaches us otherwise. Yes, we are meant to do that. We are meant to study and absorb and learn. And even though we're used to in our school systems where a teacher stands in front of the classroom and gives the students information, even when we're at a share, we get there to absorb, to hear, to be inspired. Well, what if we ask ourselves the question, where does inspiration come from? Where does wisdom really come from? And the Torah tells us that it's inside of us. It's a part of who we are. We really are full of wisdom, full of Hashem's wisdom and knowledge and awareness. Das. I used to think that das was something that was information, it was knowledge. And the Torah tells us, where it first uses the word das, Adam Yada es Chava, that das really means being intimate, having an experience. Oh, that means that das is something that I can experience. Yes, I want to learn. Yes, I want to grow. It's the way we are meant to be. And at the same time, there's something inside of me that is completely connected to Hashem. And my goal always is to be that. Resilience can show up in unpredictable ways because it's always there. And sometimes the Shabbos lamp is closed, which means I'll be blocked from it, which means that I won't always be aware of it and know it, yet it's always there. If I can think of myself as a vessel to receive Hashem's light and allow that to pour forth into the world, if I can get myself out of the way and show up for Hashem the way He would want me to, even if I don't know what that might be, that's the unblocking of the Shabbos lamp. That's the light being able to come forth into the world. And sometimes there's nothing I really need to do to get out of the way. It's just there. It's a gift Hashem gives me. What if we ask the question, where does our experience of life come from in this moment? We're conditioned to believe that when someone says something nasty to me, that I feel insulted. And I know that that person gave me the feeling of insult. Well, what if I question that? What if I ask, is it possible for someone to put a feeling inside of me? Many people, when they're having a difficult, stressful day, will unwind with a cup of hot cocoa or a piece of chocolate cake, and they get the feeling of, well, is it possible that a piece of chocolate cake can give me a feeling, really? Can someone make me feel angry? Can someone make me feel loved and happy? Well, it's good to get curious, because in reality, in Hashem's reality, those are not possibilities. Nothing outside of me can give me a feeling. Well, really? So where's feeling born? Where does feeling take place? Where does my experience of life in any given moment come from? And the more I became curious to this, the more I asked that question of myself, the more open I was to learning and seeing, well, really, where does it come from? The more I realized, oh, I'm a vessel. And Hashem made a system just like all the other systems He created, the solar system, the weather system, digestive system, gravity. So too, He created a system in which I get to experience life. And there's only one way that system operates: when Hashem puts a thought into my mind, I experience it. It comes to life in full color. Imagine, well, the old-fashioned movie projector with reels, and you have these big reels that would turn, and the different frames that would go through and past the light bulb and onto the screen of life. You would only get the picture that's going through at that moment. So too, Hashem puts things into our minds, the thoughts, the individual thoughts that come through and show up for life as they are. Now, it may be that I'll feel insulted when someone says something insulting, but where did that insult come from? I may have a wonderful feeling, and I might think it's coming from the vacation I'm at, or the sunrise, or someone saying a kind word to me, when in reality, all that takes place inside of me. Just the way Hashem created it. He gave me wisdom. He gave me resilience. He gave me love. And in fact, if we think of love as a feeling, that might be a bit misleading, because how can love be a feeling? Feelings are fleeting. They change from moment to moment. Yet Hashem tells us, V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, v'ahavta es hager, v'ahavta es Hashem. Elokecha. So how could we be commanded to have a feeling if feelings don't last? And if we think about them a little differently, if we realize that just like Ba'ani Sefila, I am prayer, so too, I am love. I am made up of Ava. That means if the Shabbos lamp is unblocked, if I am unblocked, if I'm open and expansive and willing to be connected, and Hashem gives me the gift of awareness in the moment, then what comes forth is love, is compassion, is resilience, is wisdom, is peace of mind, is well-being, is gratitude. The ability to have hakaras hatov, to have gratitude to Hashem, to everything in our lives, is natural for us. It's innate. It's a quality that Hashem put inside of us. And it's interesting to pay attention to that, to take note of when I realize in the moment of interaction with a loved one or anyone for that matter, if I'm thinking that they're doing this to me, they're speaking in a way that's not what I would like to hear to me. And I realize that, oh, 1 minute, they're experiencing what they're thinking about in this moment. Then suddenly the need for me to respond to them in kind, to be just as insulting as they are, or just as angry as they are, no longer makes sense. And it seems like, oh, that's not helpful. Well, why would I be in? And what comes forth, usually for me anyway, is compassion for that person. And what happens as a natural outgrowth can be tefillah. It can be, please Hashem, help that person to have a refuah, to have a Yeshua, to be enlightened, to no longer need to place blame, to take responsibility for their life. Wow, what a different reality I then live in. Instead of blame and shame and guilt, I'm now filled with compassion and gratitude. So really what I would like for all of us to walk away with is a curiosity. If we can begin to question the things that we have for all of our lives or for however long believed to be true, and see if it's possible that what I'm saying has validity. Is it true that we are resilient no matter what? Well, Hashem seems to think so. It's just the way he created everything. Think about the broken luchos. Think about the fact that they weren't chas v'shalom discarded. They were placed in the Aron HaKodesh. They were kept in the Holy of Holies. They're there to remind us that no, we're not broken. We can't really ever be, because we are kadosh, we are holy, we are godly, we're a part of Hashem. And everything that Hashem is, we are too. Think of the rays of a sun. The sun is really far away from that ray that hit the ground right in front of my feet. Yet the ray of sun is still part of the sun. Tiny, tiny, tiny bit, and very far away, yet still connected. So too are we. But what implication of that can I derive? Does that imply that I'm godly? Does that imply that whatever Hashem is, so am I? That I have that inside of me? And if I don't get in the way of myself, if I become curious to that and try to emulate Hashem, does that mean that it'll shine forth? Well, obviously, of course. Now, we never know when that will show up, because like I said, it's a gift of awareness that Hashem gives us. And at the same time, whether I know when that gift will show up, I know it's always there for me. So even when I'll have a dark moment, even when that Shabbos lamp will be closed and I will not in any way, shape, or form understand my greatness, it's comforting to know that it will once again come forth. And it might be in a moment from now. It might be in many moments from now. And for whatever reason, this is what Hashem is giving me now. And this too is coming through me with love. Yeah, we're resilient. We're made up of it. We're made up of love. We're made up of compassion. We're made up of gratitude. And I'd like to give us all a bracha that we should be able to always, throughout our lives, remember that we are that vessel for Hashem's light. And that we can show up for Hashem always. May Hashem give us all the ability to shine his light into this world, to see revealed good, to be the revealed good in this world, to pray to him from a place that is who we are, prayer, to connect with Hashem from the place that who we are, da'as, to connect to Hashem through his wisdom, that's a part of us, and the ability to bounce back when we feel pushed down. Thank you, everybody.
Wow, Shandy, that was so powerful and so beautiful. It was amazing. And even the way you did it, it was almost like a pondering. Like you gave us this ability, let's like really think, let's like, do you know what I mean? It's like you did it in such a way that made us that behind here, like say, wait a minute, let me think about this. It was beautiful. Thank you so much, Shandy.
My
I
pleasure.
felt like I wanted to hear more and more and more. That's what I felt like. I just love the way you did it and the way you really made us think. You're right. So, like someone just said, magnificent, life altering. Wow. And you look so gorgeous so early in the morning.
Thank you. What a pleasure it is to be here. A real treat. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Shandy.
Thank
Thank
you,
you. We have so much Akara Satov. Thank you so much, everybody in this group, for coming here.